three-time national Kung Fu champion, Justin Hu.
Oh yeah!
Between the heavens and earth, there lies a mountain, and a set of steps carved from petrified wood that lead to the Wudang Temple, a place where passing, mournful calls of the earth and shall live amidst carefully choreographed stances, creating sacred time and space. I dreamed of this mountain as a little boy when I watched Kung Fu Panda. I remember the beat of the drums and the fluttering of the garments of the elite Furious Five as they stood in disciplined attention, waiting for the news of who among them might be chosen as the fabled dragon warrior, the sacred leader of the Jade Palace. How I longed to study this mountain, 1,612 meters in height, with the real-life Kung Fu masters. This summer, balancing my broadsword, staff, and 9-chain whip on top of my duffel bag, I ascended these stairs, ready to explore new heights at the Wudang Temple. But I had a relationship with this mountain, this tremendous summit, long before I ever arrived. My talk centers on how my personal journey towards the discipline and beauty of Kung Fu brought me 3 national championship titles and 1 international championship title, and it has ultimately led me to explore new heights by creating my nonprofit, Able Kung Fu, which has gone on to serve both the spirits and bodies of 6,350 students from the United States to Africa to Asia. My personal journey through Kung Fu tapped into the best in me. It engaged my discipline, grit, and honor, and it convinced me that Kung Fu's valuable lessons should not be available to the few or to the physically fit. When we think about Kung Fu, we usually think about the spirit of the fight, or the rigor of the discipline. But very rarely do we consider Kung Fu's healing properties and its potential to change young lives. Kung Fu is a tool for building minds, morale, and accessibility, for teaching children to become the champions of their own lives. To that end, I founded Able Kung Fu, spending my high school career engaging the hopes and strength of children with disabilities so that they might find an agency and voice. I sought to teach them Kung Fu with the hopes of helping them explore new heights. The mission of my nonprofit, Able, was to empower children with disabilities through creative martial arts. I started small. Every Friday, I organized classes to teach the very basics and fundamentals of Kung Fu. Able cleared a pathway for empowerment for my students by teaching them confidence and agility through Kung Fu's formidable steps: the noble tiger, viper, monkey, and crane. When Matthew's mother brought him to my first class, he presented with little eye contact and verbal communication. However, one day after 6 months of training with Able, empowered by his developing flexibility and his engagement with peers, he proudly called me over to demonstrate his spinning inside kick of Tang Xue. Then, there was Walker, who suffers from cerebral palsy, but was able to transcend limits because Kung Fu captured his imagination. And Annie, whose special needs keep her mother working long hours to pay for specialists. But at Able Kung Fu's workshops, Annie became the tiger. Although from vastly different backgrounds, these children were able to flourish under the acceptance and gentle discipline of Kung Fu. I began developing our international audience through our church's community center, Access Ministries, where I could hold larger classes with about 25 students across the world. Through my website, ablecungfu.org, I was able to crowdfund $24,000 to start and connected Kung Fu teachers with students across the world. Our student audience, excited to rise above their disabilities and find their inner champion, expanded rapidly. But at the beginning of my organization, I was full of excuses. Oh, I'll wait until next year to finish my 501c3 forms, or I won't go this Friday to teach. I'm too tired, I don't know what to teach. My fear of failure was creating a lack of motivation that was causing me to very quickly lose interest in something that I was originally so excited to create. So I decided to set dates, deadlines where I would hold myself accountable to for the steps taken in this organization. By the end of this year, I finished my 501c3 forms. By the end of this month, I finished my website. And by the end of this week, I would have a fully developed, coherent plan to teach the students. At the beginning of my organization, I felt like I was stabbing in the dark. I didn't know what to do. But just like any other project, taking steps bit by bit and breaking down big goals, I was able to inch my way through. Never think about the total task at hand. Just focus on that one step and finish it. And what happened made my heart sing. I and my team of Kung Fu volunteers were equipping students with the techniques and the power of Kung Fu. Through Able Kung Fu's outreach, we had the opportunity to raise the funds for a school in Senegal to install a water pump, allowing children to learn healthily and effectively. It was there when Able met our first crossroads, when we were deciding to use the remaining funds to fund the surgery of just one child Bara, about whom the principal had written. Bara was in urgent need of surgery because he had bitten into an exposed electrical cord, which had damaged his mouth. But Abel's decision was clear. And that moment when Bara stood up and spoke to me and Wolof after not being able to speak for 6 months, that moment when I realized that a surgery we had funded through Abel gave a child back his voice, that moment taught me that once we get past the hubris of thinking that we have to serve everyone, it becomes so much easier to serve those we can through the talents and the skills that we possess. Kung Fu has taken me past childhood dreams, TV heroes, and has allowed me to touch lives sooner and in more powerful ways than I ever thought possible. This was the new height that I thought that I would have never explored. Since then, Abel Kung Fu has gone on to serve over 20 life-changing surgical procedures like Bara's in the United States, Africa, and rural Asia. We explore new heights by connecting our passions to help others. Through Abel Kung Fu's outreach, I had the opportunity to engage with other high school students that shared Kung Fu's passion of bringing healing to children, this time through music. Last year, Abel Music was founded under the aegis of Abel Kung Fu by students who bring and perform instruments across the world in rural villages. To further develop the power of Abel Kung Fu, I was invited by the Georgetown University Special Olympics Center to teach Special Olympics athletes and volunteers Kung Fu. This is part of a broader Best Buddies program, which attracts over 500 participants worldwide. Abel Kung Fu is now working to implement Kung Fu lessons into school programs worldwide. The Wudang Mountain is one of the highest mountains in China, sitting at 1,612 meters in height. The Wudang monks took this harsh, cold, and altitudinous environment and created something beautiful out of it, the art of Kung Fu. Since then, Kung Fu has emerged from the gates of Wudang, burst through China, and it has marched until global celebration and appreciation. We explore new heights by connecting our passions to help others and creating new opportunities. And we create new opportunities by finding new action steps in the talents and skills that we possess, being fearless in implementing them, and using them as launch pads for others to become the champions of their own lives. I remember when Bara first met me, he exclaimed, "I want to be Batman," the slayer of all villains. And he promised he would start by learning Kung Fu. Through Kung Fu, I am confident he can explore new heights. Thank you.